Peace, family. Peace, peace. So last week I did the video blog or whatever on, organic and inorganic, and I promise you, this week I had planned on doing one on acid and alkaline foods and how they affect you differently, etc., etc. And today is Sunday, and on Saturday I went and saw my guru Baba Kamal, and he's like, Brother Nigel, you seen that new documentary on GMOs? I'm like, nah, it's called Genetic Roulette. Interesting, I'll check it out. He's like, no, you need to check it out now. I said, okay. So I figured I'd check it out now. Well, needless to say, I'm sitting there talking to you guys today about GMOs as opposed to acid and alkaline because I think it's that serious. In a nutshell, it's that serious. Avoid GMOs, GMO foods, corn, soy especially, because those are the two major ones. But zucchini, a lot of the derivative alfalfa now, you have to be really careful. The canola oils, cottonseed oils, vegetable fats. There are a few of them. I'll get you more information. I'm going to write up some information and post it on the website as well. But I want to get this video out here as soon as possible. But avoid GMO foods at all costs. Last week I was like, there's information on both sides of the track saying, it's good, it's bad, yada yada. Scratch that. I have my doubts, but now I'm on board completely. Avoid GMOs at all costs. It's going to cost more money. Make sacrifices. Don't spend money here. Don't spend money there. It's that serious, GMOs, just so you know, genetically modified organisms, as I mentioned before. I'll give you an example of what one is. A pesticide. What they do is they'll put a small virus in certain seeds, let's say a corn seeds or whatever, so when it grows, if a particular insect eats this seed or eats the corn, the food bursts and blows up the stomach of the insect. True story. One of the side effects from us eating genetically modified corn or any genetically modified food for that matter, a pesticide such as this one, is any GI issues, colitis, any GI Crohn's disease, the food allergies, leaky guts. Basically, these foods are tearing up our intestinal tract to where we can't process them properly, and they end up in the bloodstream before they've been processed in order to be used by the body for fuel or what have you, and our body attacks it like any other foreign object, and all of a sudden we have a food allergy, or the Crohn's disease, and it's just crazy. Autism. I'm not laughing. I'm just like astonished that this is even like a conversation that we have to like talk to the public about, because autism has gone up like tenfold in the last 15, almost 20 years, to where in the mid-90s, it was 1 out of every 100,000 cases. Now it's like 1 out of 100. A child with autism. And of course, all children with autism have the gut issues. So again, the same thing. Infertility. Oh my God. I mean, GMO foods and plants are not only killing livestock, but making them infertile, which is the same thing as killing them, slowly but surely. And we're eating these foods, or these meats or these plants. And basically, a lot of people are becoming, a lot less fertile. We're not able to produce children. Like 50 years ago, where there was one, infertility clinic within a 50-mile radius, now you may have 20 and not even realize it. You know what I mean? Not talking about it. Nobody's paying attention. We're probably on our phones or whatever. Another thing, the mineral deficiency of these GMO foods. The plants are deficient. The animals eating those plants are deficient. If we're eating those animals and or those plants, we're mineral deficient, which makes us more prone to diseases. I mean, you need all these minerals for this physical body to work properly. It's crazy, the obesity rate, the diabetes. I mean, it's you can be overweight, even obese, and be malnourished. I mean, there's a reason you want to crave eating foods, even though you're a bigger person or you just had a large meal. It's because the food you just ate is lacking nutritionally. Your body's still hungry for what it needs. You know what I mean? I had to write notes down. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I want to make sure I got some of this information. The Roundup Ready seed. These plants were basically, they can spray Roundup on them, and it's a herbicide. So now you don't have to worry about any weeds. The plant is resistant to the Roundup, etc., etc. Again, that's leading to infertility. That's what I'm saying. That's what is leading. That Roundup Ready seed is what's really mineral deficient. It's what's making these plants or crops mineral deficient. And in turn, if the plant is, so is the animal eating it, and us who's eating the plant or the animal. For all you herbivores out there, I'm not herbivore, omnivores out there, herbivore here. Another thing is scary. Of course, the FDA is supposed to monitor this type of stuff. Well, the FDA doesn't do any research and doesn't report any findings on any GMOs because they're not required to. Like, it's almost a joke. And if they do, they keep the research for themselves. They don't report it to anybody, and they're not being made to. If I was if I was a chemical company in the business of selling chemicals, I guess I wouldn't report it either. But there's this myth that the reason that we're selling, that we're producing genetically modified crops, organisms in general, is to feed the world. This is going to be the future of how we feed the world. You can look it up anywhere. Right now, there's more food on this planet than the planet needs. The problem is not the lack of food. It's the problem that food is not affordable. You understand? Food is not affordable. I'll tell you another thing that's scary. All formulas, infant formulas, Similac, Infamil, whatever they are, breastfeeding over here. But all the formulas, all of them have genetically modified, up to 40, 32, 48. Walmart's brand is 60%. And if you're WIC, if you're in need of help from the government, 100% genetically modified soy. You know what I mean? So if this is hurting animals and plants and adults, feeding this to the babies, you already know that there are issues here. So there's more information. There's this thing called BGH, bovine growth hormone, RBGH. Now they're injecting this, which is a bacteria. It's a cow gene that they're meshing with the E. coli bacteria, and they're pumping these in cows. Okay, and this cow is going to lactate more. So this is a dairy issue here. Well, what are the symptoms of this? Basically, you get more infections in the cow, which basically results in more pus in the milk. And I've actually had conversations about this with a lot of people. The pus and blood that's allowed in each cup of milk for you to drink. This is increasing cancer, breast cancer in women up to 7-fold, and prostate cancer in men 4-fold. So it's like, all these issues. We got this walk for cancer, pink ribbon. It's like, you really want to make a difference, or you really want to help. Put down the dairy, or at least put down the GMO or the RBGH. Again, bovine growth hormone. So all these things. If you're gonna do meat, you're gonna do the dairy products, the meat derivatives. You're gonna do all these different things. That make sure it's organic. You have to make sure it's organic. It's that serious at this point. And I'm gonna tell you, soy and corn are the number 1 and 2 things out there. And they try to do genetic modified tomatoes. I think the people shut that down. It almost comes down to the moms, man. Moms do 80% of the shopping out here. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be up to the moms, to say, I'm not giving this to my child. Autism, infertility, disease. Kids are more susceptible to all these diseases. Autoimmune disease. Well, again, if you're messing with this intestinal tract and this whole digestive tract, then you're dealing with the hub of your health anyway. So obviously, autoimmune disease is going to fall in. I mentioned cancer. At the end of the day, you want to look at ways to be healthy, and this is the clean life, and there's nothing cleaner than organic foods, and that's just raising it and bringing it up out the earth, or even livestock, feeding it what it's naturally supposed to eat. That way, at least you get the benefits from eating whatever it is you're eating. You want to go to, there are people out there that are wondering, like, well, how do I know? How can I find out? How can I make it easy for myself? It's like, well, I know it's expensive, but non-GMOshoppingguide.com, non-GMOshoppingguide.com will actually point you in direction, actually gives you a list of the top 9 foods that are part of the Monsanto pyramid. The biotech folks, Monsanto, DuPont, and there are a few others out there, but everybody knows it's Monsanto's the real king of that jungle. But you can go to non-GMOshoppingguide.com and actually give you a list of what to avoid and what to actually look for. So I don't want to just give you all this information and say, okay, good luck, go out there. But you can actually go to their website, and there are other ones out there to point you in the right direction. But we really have to be more conscious and more cognizant of exactly what we're feeding our babies and ourselves, for that matter. But our kids, because they're more susceptible. They're smaller bodies, they have a higher metabolism, their cells are always changing, and their immune system is younger. They're not really built to, to fight off this, the things that we've grown to be able to do as an adult. So, not just for yourself, but for the kids. So I just want to, pass this information, get this out there. GMO foods are the worst thing on the shelf right now. Process is one thing, and we have our issues. But I'm changing my stance. Get rid of GMOs first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? If you get canned organic, cool. At least it's organic. Leave GMO foods alone. Do whatever you can. Put money aside. Change your budget. But that is the move to make. I'm gonna say it one more time: non-GMOshoppingguide.com, in order to to give you some guidance, and that way you can find out the foods that are more susceptible to being GMOs. Because if it doesn't say non-GMO and it's corn or soy, and there's a 95% chance it's GMO, because they don't have to label it. Yeah, that's another thing. We've been trying to, and I say we, I mean people have been trying to, get the government to issue labeling laws, but nope, no such thing. And it's like, if there's no problem with it, why are you worried about it? Just no GMOs. Europe already stopped GMOs, but so I'm not gonna get on politics and that whole deal. So non-GMO is the way to go. All right, this is Nigel with The Clean Life. I hope I didn't ramble much, but I had to get this one out there. It's like midnight, and I just finished watching this documentary. It's called Genetic Roulette, Gambling with Our Lives. And very informative. Nothing but scientists on there, no politicians, just people out there genuinely concerned with the health and well-being of, the people around them. All right? Take care. Peace.